What's up, compadres? Jammo rising here, and today we are traveling through the wormhole and into the fifth dimension, where time is relative, Jason Bourne is a bad guy, and love conquers all. That's right, we're talking about Christopher Nolan's 2014 film Interstellar. I hadn't seen it since release and had the notion to revisit it after seeing Oppenheimer. I'm assuming you've seen the film if you're watching this, and if you haven't, why not? It's been out for like 10 years. But don't worry, I got you covered. It's about a small crew of astronauts who leave Earth, which is no longer fit for human habitation. The idea is to find a new planet for everyone to fly to in Michael Caine's big old space station, presumably constructed by Wayne Enterprises, or failing that, to start a new colony, where Matthew McConaughey and Anne Hathaway can get jiggy and start a new super race of inbred humanoids with cowboy accents and very large teeth. No, I'm just kidding. They have like a big embryo farm or something. You gotta have genetic diversity, folks. It's part of why the South will never rise again. Spoilers incoming from here on out. Like I said, I'm basically just gonna assume you've seen the movie. But if you want a general recommendation, I give it mostly 2 thumbs up. Go watch it. Now, since we are dealing with quantum mechanics, time, and relativity, it's only fitting to ask past Jammo what he thought way back when. 3, 2, 1, a biggity boom. What's up, you chunguses? Past Jammo here, and I thought the movie was pretty good. I loved all the space stuff. I'm a sucker for science fiction and cool planets and spaceships and all that nerdy goodness. And the strongest elements for me were definitely the science and visual components. Seeing a black hole rendered in all of its terrible glory was a highlight, but my favorite moment bar none was when they escape that incredibly awesome planet with the mile-high waves and find that due to relativity, like 20 years had passed. That poor guy on the spaceship, man, I don't know what he did all that time. Maybe like played an increasingly demented game of checkers with himself. I have no idea. What didn't quite grab me though was the emotional core of the film, and the idea that love conquers all and that kind of stuff. I just wanted more space exploration, and found myself less interested whenever we cut back to Casey Affleck, looking all grumpy on his dirt farm. I also appreciated the weirdness of the ending, when old Matthew McConaughey hops into the black hole and gets slurped into the fifth dimension, but I feel like the movie really just fumbled the exposition there, although I don't really remember why. That, and I wasn't impressed by evil Matt Damon, which was just too obvious. And that's what I got for you, future Jammo. Back to you. 3, 2, 1, a bibbidi boo. Alright, we are back, and man, I have to say, our new theater is definitely an upgrade. You gotta give it up for the artist, Valmik Mukund. And hey, wait, past Jammo, if you can still hear me, you're going to find yourself absolutely blasted in a Hawaiian bar in Oakland in about a year. When you're there, do not take the blue pill offered to you by the weird girl with all the necklaces. Okay, buddy? Is he still here? Can he hear me? Never mind, he'll survive. So I gotta agree with a lot of what he said after my 2023 rewatch. My favorite part is still the space exploration and visiting cool planets, and my favorite moment is definitely still the wave world and the aftermath. Not just the guy playing checkers thing, but when Cooper goes through all the messages, seeing his children grow from a cute little girl and sullen teenager into Jessica Chastain and sullen Casey Affleck. That shit hit hard. And you know what? This is actually where my opinion veers off from past Jammo. Because this time, for whatever reason, the emotional core of the movie, that relationship between Coop and his daughter, and how all of that plays out really worked for me. I like how the connection between them is set up in all those scenes back on Earth. It takes a while, but it imbues the film with an emotional purpose that extends through all the space travel. This theme is punctuated by a speech I think I found kinda hammy the first time, where Anne Hathaway talks about love being the force that transcends time, but this time it got me. I don't know why. It was a good speech, well delivered, and the ultimate payoff, the way the film is bookended by Cooper interacting with the very young and very old versions of his daughter, hit me right in the feels. I thought it was really well done, and provides the film with not just the visual symmetry with the two of them, but an emotional one as well. It's very good story structure. I also didn't mind the Matt Damon stuff so much this time. It was still pretty obvious, but I liked the theme of how the future of humanity could be derailed by a single deluded, selfish individual. And the injection of some action footage also doesn't go amiss where the pacing is concerned. That being said, I have to stick to my guns on one particular point, and that's when Coop enters the black hole. I still enjoyed it in visual terms, but I feel like it suffered from a serious case of over-explanation. I think the whole message here about Coop being the space ghost all along and all that could have been achieved visually if it needed to happen at all. I get that it plays into the themes of gravity and love and so on, but it all felt just a little too convenient, too movie-ish if you will. Cooper also decides for no real reason that I can discern that the supposed alien beings who put the wormhole near Earth in the first place were us in the future. Maybe I missed something, but I don't know how he knows this. It's like Nolan couldn't figure out a way to show us this in an understandable way, so he just lets Cooper say it. And I was like, I don't know. I would have honestly preferred this entire segment to be reworked and made into a more psychedelic and interpretive thing like in 2001: A Space Odyssey. If you're gonna go weird and let us do some brain work. One more minor detail that I find pretty weird is when Cooper steals an X-Wing so that he can rescue Anne Hathaway from the Dagobah system or wherever she is. Why do you need to steal a ship when you're a living legend and your daughter is like the most important person in human history, who's still alive? I have a sense she would probably sign off on this mission, especially since it was she that suggested it in the first place. I also have to question the logistical side of crossing the galaxy in a very small craft. Aren't you gonna run out of fuel? For a movie that's so obsessed with scientific detail and general logic, this entire scene didn't make sense to me, and it's a shame that the movie ended with it. All things considered though, Interstellar is still a big win. It's incredibly impressive on a visual level, the sense of wonder and exploration is immense, and for me the relationship between Coop and his daughter serves as a linchpin for the whole film. On a broader level, it also reintroduced the possibility of smart, big-budget science fiction cinema. This came out on the heels of poorly written action schlock nonsense films like Star Trek Into Darkness, and showed that there was an actual market for thoughtful films in the genre, and it paved the way for brilliant movies like Arrival, so I have to thank Nolan for that. In the long run, it might be a more important film for what it represented than for what it was, even if what it was is still pretty damn good. Thanks for watching, peace, love, and rockets, and I'll see you in the next one.